Hi, and welcome back to my channel, This Caitlin Knits. My name is Caitlin, but you can call me Kat, and this is my channel all about making things, running a small business, knitting, crocheting, all those things. Today, I have a project vlog for you, and I'd already filmed the intro, but it got lost in the editing process, so here I am. We're going to record a new intro, get you introduced to the project, and then I'll give you a way to pass me to finish it off. In this video today, we are making a granny square scrap tote bag. This one pictured right here. This is an independent idea that I came up with because leading up to the Christmas time, because this video was filmed last year, I was really thinking about needing to work through my stash more. I have a lot of yarn and it piles up and it stresses me out just a bit. But on top of that, I have a lot of scraps because I make a lot of things, but I always save my scraps. I don't ever throw them away. I want to find use for them, and I do have plenty of use for them. It's just when and how I decide to do that. Which spawned this idea. I was thinking about how many bucket hats I had made in the past summer for an event I ended up vending at, and I had so many cotton scraps left at the end of that making session around August time. And I started keeping all of my cotton scraps just balled up in Ziploc bags like this. This is a mix of like soft cotton and some mercerized cotton and kitchen cotton. And I decided that it would just be best for me to start using up some of those little balls of scraps to make something beautiful, make something that can grow into something else. And obviously, you could do that with anything. There's numerous scrappy projects out there in the world that you can do with these things. But I had my own idea. My idea spawned down to granny squares. I love granny squares. I make them constantly. I'm always making something with granny squares. I think they're beautiful. But I didn't want to do the traditional granny square scrappy thing where each round is a separate color. Um, Not for any particular reason. I think I was just tired of seeing it, didn't want to participate in that at that moment. So this idea spawned instead. And with this idea, I was using all of my kitchen cotton little scraps in this bag to make these micro granny squares. These are one round granny squares made with a US 5, nope, US 8 5mm crochet hook. I just crocheted one round, the beginning round of a granny square, and cut off the yarn. And I did that for multiple different colors. So I have some tan ones here, a pink one, a lot of this yellow variegated yarn, and I just crocheted a bunch. This is all the leftover from the project. So I made a bunch of those just right off the bat. I did draw out my idea as a 13 square granny square bag. I'll put a picture of an example of the one I was basing this off of here. And then cutting each of those 13 granny squares into 4 individual tiny squares, like the ones I just showed you. And then crocheting around those squares to make them bigger, and then connect them as you would on a regular 13 square granny square bag. Hopefully that makes sense. So with that idea, you would finish the tote as you normally would, but each square individually in the bag would be made up of 4 individual tiny squares. I figured that would be a very good way to play with color. It'd be a very good way to use up all the scraps adequately. They would all have their moment to shine. It would create something really unique, and it did. It did. So I started the process with making all these, like I said, and then I went on to use a black cone of Lily Sugar and Cream yarn to make the contrast squares that would make up the original square. So a lot of this bag, as you can see, is black. And that is because each of these individual squares are made separately, and then they are pieced together when I made each of these corner black squares. And on the last square, I crocheted around the entire square to make a larger granny square. So the majority of this bag is black, but it's stunning. It's stunning. I'm obsessed. So that was the plan going into the project. I had mapped everything out. I had already made a lot of these squares by the time I started recording this process, but I really wanted to document this just as another scrap idea for people out there in the world. I enjoy seeing scrap projects because it gives me a lot of creative inspiration for things that I need to do or accomplish, whether they're actually scrappy or they're just playing with color. So I wanted to pitch in. I wanted to pitch in my own idea. So, without further ado, I'm going to send you back to past me so you can actually watch me make this bag in real time, vlog style, and I hope you enjoy.
Weirdest fucking celebration.
They've got weird celebrations.
Did you see it?
No, I heard it.
No, you gotta see how bad that looked. Because I don't know what the fuck that is.
I don't know like the sound effect.
No, I'm sorry. That's because our fucking safety wasn't coming down to make the tackle. He was coming down to grab it. So I've seen safety. Look at this shit. Look at our safety number 14. To be coming down hard like a bat out of hell and knocking anything that's, you know, there. But this is what he did. Yeah, that's bad. Like that was a chance. He was the only person that could have stopped that play. He went a greater coverage, but that was bad. I mean, I guess it looks okay in slow motion. The Bachelor, the Golden Bachelor. He made a Bachelor with a little
For real. Yeah, what? I'm gonna cut the sound out. At least in this section. Well, that's going in.
No.
Yeah? Yeah? What do you mean, what? Why are you getting from your mother? It doesn't come out like that.
How's it going? Oh.
like it.
I'm trying to. Let's check it out.
No. This is expensive. If you want to play, I'll give you a crochet hook. Okay.
Dude, that slap, bro.
If you're gonna reach in, you're gonna be useful. Okay, hi, check in. So, I just finished all of the squares for our bag, finally. All the ends are woven in, and I made the three, ¿dónde está? The three black squares we needed for our side pieces. So this is ready to get pieced together. I'm ready to do that right now. So the plan, tentatively, is to use the leftover scraps from making the original tiny scrap squares to do like a colorful slip stitch seam on the back. Obviously, this is not enough. I do have a few other bright colors, like half skeins next to me over here, over down here, um, that I'm just gonna break into once I use this up. Just at random, mixing up the color, um, just to get some variety, because that's kind of the vision I have. So I'm gonna do that. I have my stitch markers to piece them together, and yeah, I typically attach the squares together with stitch markers so that I don't lose my placement, and then I just slip stitch seam around the bag in all the directions that I can, finishing at the bottom, and then we will pick up to do a top border and straps. The good thing about this project so far, is one, it's been easy. Other than like how thick the yarn is, it's been making my wrist click a little bit, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. It is severely using up my yarn. This black cone, which is great. This isn't all this project. I actually, on a whim, cast on another bag project. But I realized I was cranking this out, and I was like, well, I definitely want to have enough black to finish the square project. So let me do that first. And then I'll come back and see if I have enough to finish this. But yeah, this is where we're at right now. And yeah, I have to put a strap on the bag, but I think this will be enough for both bags. And then it'll probably be gone, which is the fucking goal. So, yeah, let's piece together this bag. It's done. It's done, and I don't think my footage worked for the finishing process of the handles. But is done. This is completely finished. I just crocheted single crochet handles as well as a top border section. And there's my tag, one of my tags, and woven on my ends. And this is completely done. There is no lining on the inside, so it is just the granny square motif. And measuring this out, I believe it was 13 inches across, 9 inches in depth, 12 inches from the top of the squares, 9 from here. And yeah, it's done. It's a pretty decent sized tote bag. And I've already taken my pictures to list it on the website. So there's that. Um, Final thoughts on the project? Just cause. Um, would do it again 110%. Probably would enjoy more not using lily sugar and cream. By the end of it, my hands were a little sore, but truthfully, I think that this was a great use of the scraps, and it made this like really retro, colorful Mod Podge of a bag, and I really like that. And I really like it. Like it's really cute, and I think the colorful seams really add to it. Kind of wish I did something colorful with the straps, but at the same time, I feel like this is just enough. It's enough of a statement piece that you don't need it to carry up into your outfit when you're wearing it, you know? Like, that is good enough. That is just a bag, and then you actually catch it, and it's like, oh, wait, it's cute. So, yeah. Um, so this will be going up on the site. So I used up a good amount of my cotton scraps and most of this black lily sugar and cream cone, which is fantastic. I should be able to use the rest of it on another bag I have started, and then that will also be out of stash. So that's perfect. With that being said, this is the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking through to the end. Let me know in the comments if you like scrap projects and what do you do with your scrap yarn. Worsted weight scraps of like acrylic is really easy, but like, what do you do with the random bits of like cotton and wool and mohair and shit like that? Yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.